describe the show coming up, Mohegan Sun, and how it's kind of evolved since COVID, and what's allowed more back in the storefronts and things like that for you at the show.
So we do open March 24th at 1 p.m. at Mohegan Sun. We are growing. We're our third year. The big difference since COVID is people have a lot more product out there. So we are packed with over 200 booths selling the newest fishing, hunting, and outdoor equipment, fishing boats, scuba equipment, tons of seminars, and we will be there all weekend.
The one thing I love is the seminars, just meeting all these people. We met, was it Matt Weddish, the turkey caller who was scaring little kids?
And I'm still friends with him. He sends me a lot of stuff about hunting. He's always asking me on hunting trips. I just don't have the time.
Awesome.
But no, we became very fast friends.
I would love to go on a fishing expedition with Crazy Alberto. I mean, I feel like, wasn't he telling us he was fishing in the sewer systems of New York City?
He'll fish anywhere.
That dude's awesome. But some of these other guys, like that we didn't get to meet. Captain Coombs, I know, is a big deal around there. But who else is coming in on the weekend that can really teach some people some stuff?
Captain Mike Roy is fantastic. Some of the other local guys, V. Gun Dogs, Dave Parrish, he's with the waterfowl hunting. We have also this year several fly tyers that will be present, and a fly casting pond as well. Fred Wilson, Mike Stewart, Ian Devlin, just really a lot of good information. And then we also have Jim Neary, the basics of fishing with live casting for kids. So he's really going to focus on the kids aspect of the event. And Matt Weddish will be there.
Excellent. Now, Matt Weddish is Saturday, Sunday, right?
Correct. He's there Saturday and Sunday, but then also Friday through Sunday, we have Jerry Reitmeyer and Steve Schicker, everything you want to know about filming your own hunt, and they are on Forever Wild TV.
Awesome.
We're talking to Kristi Gonsalves and Al Gaggs, the Connecticut Fishing Outdoor Show. We'll be there on Friday, March 24th through the 26th at the Earth Expo Convention Center. We love going down there, the Mohegan Sun, and it's amazing how much stuff fits in there, and it's so family friendly. I want to throw this to Al Gaggs. He makes custom lures and stuff, and fishing, golfing, things like that, outdoor stuff. Since COVID has exploded, my wife has now talked me into getting into kayaking at my age, and the standing up and the longboarding and stuff like that, and things like that. What are some of the latest technology and inventions and stuff like that I guess the crowd is after to come to the fishing and the outdoor show?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. Excuse me. Second of all, kayaking's becoming huge.
Right.
Very, very big. There's an outfitter called like Scotty Downriggers. They're a company. They outfit kayaks with miniature-sized downriggers, electronic, all kinds of different things. So what you see in a large boat today, you can see in a kayak. And it's really something. And then with all the new technology today, it's really crazy the direction the outdoors have taken,
And the way with kayaks, just getting them around, like trolling motors and just pedal kayaks now are what it is. Like just having a standard kayak with just an oar, yeah, you can get that. But really, like what's hot now is propelling it some other way, whether a trolley or with your feet.
That's true. They have a battery now that's about as big as a cell phone for the trolling motor on a kayak. That'll go, I don't know how long. I never been it. I wouldn't trust it if I was under salt water right now.
Right.
If the tide's going one way, no. But there's so much coming in there. And this year's show is going to have a very good local flavor. You got captains like Joe Dario, who's willing to share his knowledge about the whole Connecticut coastline. You got people like Bobby Urich coming in to be on top of the tank, doing demos and all kinds of things. And it's just the wealth of knowledge, like you said before, Crazy Alberto. That man is just, he talks about non-human hours. He's non-human himself.
Right.
Good friend of mine, excellent, extraordinary fisherman.
Talk about yourself, Al. Al Gagg, legendary lure designer. And we talked about this first time you were in here. How do you get started? Like, where is it in your mind where, you know what, I'm going to just start making my own lures? And then it becomes what it is now with the Gagster and everything else you got going on.
Well, it happened by accident. And I really don't want to take up a lot of time with this one, but it happened by accident. I was sort of pushed into it by an outdoor writer because I had made a couple of pieces when I couldn't afford to buy them and gave it to him. And we went out fishing with him, and he ended up killing salmon, or not killing them, but catching them.
Right.
And And we knew we had something when this fish just peeled all the line off his reel, and they caught it the next day up at the fish ladder, the ladder where they trap them and they bring them back to the hatchery and strip them of the eggs. Well, they caught the fish up there, and he was so excited about it. He just said to me, "Why don't you do something and just, come out with these lures?" And I said to him, "Yeah, with all my millions, I'm going to run out and market these things right now, right?" I was making $74 a week at the time. I wasn't exactly sitting on top of the world. But with that being said, I picked up the newspaper on the Sunday morning. I used to love to read his column, and it said, "New lure to hit market soon," and that's what happened to me. And not to make him look like an idiot or something, I started pouring this stuff in a 2-room apartment. I think the lady's canary died on the 3rd floor and from the vapor and the fumes, but that's how it was born. A very simple story, and it's the truth, and it went on from there. And then people like Kristi's dad and stuff, with all the influence and the promotions and stuff through the shows, put me here today.
Yep.
Basically.
Kristi Gonsalves, it seems like you love promoting the show and bringing families out and hunting and getting you outdoors and stuff like that. One of my baseball players was actually late for practice yesterday. He was fishing, it's 55 degrees.
That's a
It's
baseball thing.
I know. You know what? But the kid's 12 years old, and I love these kids because they're so active. They're always outside. They're always doing stuff,
Right.
and so talk about it. This is a passion that's been in your family for a long time, promoting very family-friendly things like this.
Absolutely. We feel it's important that you spend time with your kids, get outdoors, get away from the TVs and the devices.
Oh, absolutely.
We have a lot of
chat with like my 12-year-old daughter.
right, or TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
So we just really have a lot of great things for the kids. We have the Animal Outdoor Adventure Rescue coming in, and they have porcupine, alligator, skunks, really hands-on for the kids to touch and pet. And then also new this year, we have the Safari Club International trailer there's a brand new trailer for the organization. And they have about 20 mounts in there.
Now, you're a dog person.
I am a dog.
And you've done so much with your dogs over the years, but what got you started? Like, not just with dogs, but just being outdoors with your family.
I love animals. I love the outdoors, horses, dogs, cats, anything. I love training the dogs. I do have a hunting dog, but I was starting with tracking. We also have a waterfowl demonstration this year, too, with the dogs. V3 gun dogs will be there, starting your puppy, steadiness training. There's just so many great things.
How old were you when you first sent a dog to go get something, like whether it be a pheasant or a quail or something?
I'm 12.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome.
We have a good motto, and the motto is buy your child a tackle box, not an Xbox.
I love it. I love
Seriously,
it.
because that baseball player that you said was late for practice and he couldn't get there, Ted Williams did the same thing. They used to fine him so much.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
He'd be sitting on the Miramichi River, and and the Red Sox would be working out. He wasn't showing up.
Well, I'm more of a hunter than a fisherman, and I bought a fishing boat because my roommate was Norm Charlton, and he's a big hunter. He had the dogs, and he would do all that stuff. And even when we were in the minor leagues, he got me into bow hunting. So I'm in the big leagues now, and I could afford a fishing boat.
Yeah.
And but I wasn't getting up at 5 a.m. all the time during the season until
Right.
I got hurt, and Deion Sanders was my teammate. Every day that he could get out there fishing, he was out there. And he's like, "Hey, let's bring your boat out. I'll put the gas in it, blah, blah, blah." He would do everything. He's a master fisherman. So, I mean, it's a passion.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lifelong passion. I mean,
yeah.
it's something that Deion told me when we were playing together. He's like, "Listen, I want to have my own fishing show." I mean, as popular as he is and what people perceive him to be, he's a very down-to-earth guy. And the same thing with Ted Williams. A pilot in the war, in 2 different wars. He missed 5 years and stuff like that. All of that. And it boils down to this dude he was an avid fisherman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, fishing brings a lot of things out of people that, you don't see. There's a good camaraderie amongst fishermen. You walk down the beach and you're casting, and all of a sudden you got 10 or 15 men or women out there that are fishing up and down the beach and stuff, and all of a sudden they become your friends, And you need something, yeah, I got one here, and it's all different. You put them same people on the street, and, but you get near that water and everything changes.
So true. And it's something like subliminal about that you learn when, at least I'm just thinking of my childhood too. I'm kind of the opposite of Dibs. I'm not a hunter, I'm a fisherman. And like my family, like my uncle will ice fish, but he's more the hunter. And then my grandfather was fishing every single weekend. If I go down to Georgia to see my cousins down there, they get mad if I don't have a fishing pole. Like that's and they're baseball guys too, by the way. That's just funny. But for us as kids, like it taught us so much about the environment without even knowing that we were doing it. When you go to a lake and you see a beer can that's empty that's thrown on the side, if you're a fisherman or if you
pick it up.
You pick it up and,
right.
and it's depressing, and you don't want to be that person to leave that for the next person that's trying to fish.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Getting back to the show, I think what Kristi's done to it this year was she gave it a complete, and I mean a complete local flavor. Seriously. I mean, anybody from the state of Connecticut that'll come to this show is going to come in there and be able to name where they fish, and there's somebody there that can tell them all about it.
That's pretty cool.
That's fantastic.
Think about that. Yeah.
Yep.
Connecticut Deep's going to be there, right?
Yes, and they teach hunter safety. They have a laser shot range, just overall education. And to add with Al's, I think all of us are small family businesses.
Right.
We have very few corporations. So again, we're all local, but we're people from Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New York, but we're all small family businesses.
No, and that's why I moved back here from California. It's the being outdoors, the local. These are my people. I love being able to fish in ponds, not just lakes,
There
and
you go.
and even the Farmington River and places like that. I mean,
Oh,
people
yeah.
don't realize there's great fishing all around Connecticut. You just have to kind of walk through the woods to find it.
And what's really different about that, you mentioned the Farmington River. You take someone like, and I'll just throw his name out there again, Joe Dario, who's a captain on saltwater. He also guides on the Farmington River.
Right.
And, a lot of people don't know that. And here's another thing that fishermen should know. Any products that you purchase locally here, I mean, in wherever you go, especially at a show like this, 10% of that money goes to fisheries and wildlife.
Right.
Because we are taxed on everything we manufacture. And it goes right to fisheries and wildlife, to stock fish, to stock pheasants, to keep the programs going. So it's like they're self-supporting themselves when they buy a rod, a reel, a lure, whatever.
Absolutely. It's a nice cycle, and it's all about protecting the environment.
Oh, yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's a bunch of shows, a bunch of seminars for you to learn from. There's 2 rooms for shows and seminars, and there's also the fly casting pond. Our friend Crazy Alberto gets it started at 2 o'clock on Friday, and it seems like Alberto's doing a show almost every hour over there. That dude taught me like the basics too, like logging. Like I never thought about writing down what the sun, where the sun is, and what just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
some of the
Sets,
simplest
when,
stuff.
what time it's going to set, all that stuff.
But there's so many things that are going on here. I really do love the learn how to film yourself hunting. Again, my uncle is getting into a bunch of trail cams all the time. I bought all the men in my family drones this Christmas.
Okay.
They've yet to figure them out. But I feel like when they do, it will really raise their hunting film level. But is that a thing? Are people using that? Because I just thought, because he owns all this acreage in Michigan, and he always takes these pictures of herds of deer that are on his property. I just thought a drone would be so awesome to check all that out.
There's a lot of people using drones out there. I think in some states they're illegal now.
Yeah.
Because it's like having a spotting plane
For
going
hunting.
on. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I don't know if that takes it away, but when you say trail cams, what you're doing, if you're in the woods and you're hunting and you got trail cams on you or a camera on you, you'll be able to pick up your own mistakes that you're making, why you're making them, and then go back and look at what you did.
Yeah, I have trail cams up in my backyard and in the woods coming into it and stuff like that.
It's a bi-weekly show and tell at this.
It
studio,
is.
yeah.
My wife likes to feed the coyotes and the foxes and the deer, and so
And you're on the roof with a
Yeah, you're
rifle.
gonna
No.
He
Around
wants to
my
bring 'em
house, it's a no-kill zone.
Yeah.
There you
Although
go.
some of the things that come through, we have a raccoon that honestly needs to be on a diet because it's so big. It can barely
fault.
move through the backyard. But I love to watch nature.
Exactly.
I don't just really thin to herd anymore. I mean,
No.
it's getting harder and harder at my age to get things out of the woods. So now it's more like, preserving the future for the younger generation.
Start hunting with a camera. That's a lot of people are doing.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm doing. It's a lot easier. I got some harvested big animals on on film, and you know what? You look at it and you know it's still out there somewhere.
And it doesn't have to be fishing. It doesn't have to be hunting. It being
No,
outdoors,
just loving the outdoors.
and just
Right.
hanging out. And honestly, there's so much peace for me going down a stream in a kayak. Like there's so much peace in that I don't think a lot of people understand until they're actually doing it. And when they actually do it, it's something that they crave and begin an addiction to.
Outdoors is outdoors. They have that new app, identify this plant, identify this. You could spend 3 years in the woods clicking that thing and learning about what every weed and flower and mushroom,
Yeah,
the whole thing. But here again at this show, you're going to have the experts there
exactly.
to teach you all of that.
Well, God bless you both. Thank you so much for coming in, Kristi and Al, and we'll see you on Friday.
Okay,
You got
sounds
it.
great. Thank you.
And always remember, it's the only outdoors we have, so let's protect it.